Hi everyone, this is Daisy Isamarie and welcome to the Flower Power Podcast. This podcast is about following your dreams, and I'm here to help you solve problems in your daily lives to help you get a step closer to your goals. I'm here to introduce people that have decided to follow their dreams and find out what they're doing to become their own success. We will also be girl chatting away about topics that we deal with, such as friendships, relationships, and self-care, and so much more. Stay tuned to listen to Flower Power, which means peace and love. Let's find out what flower power is within you to change the world for the better. Hi guys, welcome to the second episode of Flower Power. In today's episode, we are going to talk about something that we all go through, which is giving up. It could either be giving up on people, giving up on jobs, on dreams. There's so many things that sometimes, there's so many things we want to give up on because we feel like we're not going anywhere. We feel like we're never going to be able to get to that goal, and we try to avoid it as much as possible sometimes. But I want to let you know that you should not give up, because there's so many times where I wanted to give up on something, and for some reason it always led me back to the same road that I always wanted to be in. And I'm going to let you guys know all the little things of why sometimes I want to give up. Okay, so let's rewind. When I was younger, I was 17, right? I've always wanted to do acting, and actually started acting when I was around 13 years old. I started to get my first headshots and actually had an agency. I was going to acting school and all that. And then when I turned 16, 17, I had my first real boyfriend, right? And then what happened is that I stopped doing everything I was supposed to do. I stopped going to auditions. I stopped following my dreams. I stopped figuring out what I was going to do for my next step. I got dropped from my agency after a few years because I didn't end up going to the audition. So I literally ended up giving up all that. And one of the reasons was that what I wanted to do was looked down upon. So it was like, you need to be a lawyer, you need to be a doctor, you need to have a profession. Like, I would be asked by so many people, like, so, like, what do you do? What is your career? And I'd be like, acting. And then they would look at me with like, okay, so that's not a serious career, right? That's the way they would look at me. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of gave up on it, because I was like, yeah, they're right. It's not a serious career. How the hell am I going to be able to, survive? And will I ever get to my dreams? I feel like, because I wanted to be the next Hannah Montana around that age. So, that time it was impossible for me. I thought it was impossible to be in a commercial. I thought it was impossible to do acting. I thought it was impossible to do film. When I was younger, I thought it was something that I would never reach and that it would never be part of my life. And now it is. So it's so crazy just to look back upon that. But it's crazy because even though I gave up at that moment in my life, for some weird reason, it always led me back to what I wanted to do. Always. Like, a play would come up, an opportunity would come up, and I would be like scared to take it because I was like, well, that's not going to be my profession, because I need to do something more serious, right? Because I'm not meant to do all that. And so after my relationship, I just started to go towards it again. And that's what led me back to what I wanted to do, which was acting. And so after that, I actually got an internship at a video production. I started to get more agents. I started to go to auditions. I started to look for all that. And little did I know, I started to do a commercial, right? I did my first audition ever, and I booked the commercial for Car Outlet. That was my first commercial. It came out on TV, and that was like crazy. Like, that was like, for me, that was like, oh my God, I never in my life think that I would be in a commercial. So that was my first like milestone for me. That was my first like, so I can do this. I can get paid, right? I could follow my dreams and I could continue to do this. Like, that gave me the motivation to keep on going. And I started to do the things that I never thought were possible for me. Okay, now I had the agencies, I booked my first commercial, and then I started getting calls for other commercials, right? So I was doing some commercials here and there, and then I started to get that feeling again of giving up, because you're like, damn, like, why am I not getting somewhere more, because after you have a little bit of it, you want more and more and more. You want to grow bigger, bigger, and bigger. And that's when the second part of giving up started coming in, right? Then it started saying, well, I'm a part-time server. Acting is not a permanent job. I could get the job maybe here and there, but it's not like an actual income where I get it every month, right? Because it's not a for sure thing. You need to audition, you need to book the role, and it's a process that we're going to talk about later in future episodes. And then I just had a moment where I was just still. I was waiting for my agents to call me. I was waiting for my agents to give me an audition. Sometimes there's slow seasons, there's slow times where you don't get those auditions, and I wouldn't do anything. Then when you start not doing anything, then you feel like a failure, right? You start to feel like, am I doing the right thing? Like, is this going to be all that's it? And then one day I was laying in my couch. There was a few days where I wasn't doing anything every morning, laying in my couch, watching YouTube videos like I always do. And then I'm like, I need to do something about this. And so I got up, I dressed up, I went to a cafe. I started writing things. I'm like, I'm going to take this career into my own hands, and I'm going to start looking for auditions myself, and I'm going to start doing projects for myself. After all that, then things started coming. Things started to come. I signed up to Backstage. Backstage is a website where you go and submit yourself, and it's a monthly pay per month. And so I started submitting myself to all these things, and I started getting all these auditions. I was so excited. I was auditioning for more films. I was auditioning for more things. And for some reason, every time I do this, every time I decide to take things under my own hands, just things start popping out of nowhere. Like for some reason, I know somebody that wants to do a film, and they contact me, and then I do this, I do that. And then I actually started doing commercials for this very good company where I did a bunch of stuff. And actually one of my favorite videos I did with them, and I was able to get them through Backstage. So there's so many things that I was able to do through my own hands. Like it's crazy. Like that way, like I keep myself busy. And if audition comes up for my agents, I get to go to that audition, and I'm not worried about it because I have other things that I'm worrying about. And that was one of the things that I kind of like, it helps me get better and grow. And I met so many other people that liked the same things I did. And I didn't know there was a community of that. I didn't know there was such thing as other people were doing the same thing as I was. Just because all these good things happen to you doesn't mean that you're never going to have another phase where you want to give up. And that's where I was again. You're always going to end up in that phase, but just know that you're always able to pick yourself up again and continue to keep going. So during the winter, I actually stopped caring about things. I actually didn't want to do anything. I feel like I did so much that I burned myself out because I was doing so many jobs. I was doing so many projects that I burned myself out. And then I just decided not to do anything at all. And then I just didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to film. I didn't want to write, nothing. So then recently, which started this podcast, is that I wanted to do a little bit more with media because I love media. I love television. I love audio. I love editing. So many cool things. I like to do my own projects. So I finally decided to do this podcast. And in future episodes, I'm going to let you know what things come out of this. Because what I've noticed is every time I give up and I continue and I do a little bit more, that's when things start coming my way again. So hopefully later in the future, I can let you guys know where I'm going to be at in the next month, especially in the summer, because more things will be coming out. So now I am more motivated to continue to keep going, to write my own things, to reach out to people again, because I was kind of like, it was probably the winter time that got me in that position, but now I'm ready to go. I'm more motivated. I'm able to do it, and let's see where this year's going to take me, because last year was a really good year for me. I did so many things because why? I took it under my own hands and I didn't give up. So just remember, every time you want to give up, trust me, you can still keep going in a different way, but it might take a month or two. It might take even a year. Remember, guys, if I could do it, you guys could definitely do it. All you have to do is take everything under your own hands and go look for it. It's not going to come to you, guys. You got to go look for it yourself. Talk to people, network, go ask for if you could be in a video, if you could do this, whatever you want to do. Just look for internships as well. Internships help so much because I have had 2 internships and they open up a lot of doors for me, and you learn a lot from them. Thanks, guys, for listening to this Flower Power podcast, and I hope that I motivated you guys to not give up on your dreams. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.